The Atlanta police officer who shot and killed Rayshard Brooks by shooting him literally in the back has been charged criminally. These are charges that were filed by the Fulton County District Attorney, Paul Howard. And the most important charge in question is the felony murder charge that he's facing. The district attorney has also charged the cop in this case, Garrett Rolfe, 11 charges in total. So not only is he charged, but his colleague who was on the scene at the time is also facing 3 charges. His name is Devin Brosnan, and he is cooperating with authorities and has agreed to testify against his colleague, Garrett Rolfe, who is the individual who opened fire and shot Brooks in the back. 2 of those bullets did hit him, and he died later in the hospital. And this is what people were asking for. They were asking for criminal charges, and these criminal charges have been filed, and Rolfe will have his day in court.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would say, I think a very minor version of what people want is for this sort of story to not be a story. First of all, because it wouldn't happen, because they wouldn't be trained to decide that it's easier to just shoot at a man in his back rather than actually chase him, or, I mean, God forbid, let him go and have to track him down later. But also that if something like this happens, yeah, that's what it's expected. He murdered this guy, he gets charged with murder, goes to jail. That's what it should be. It shouldn't be like, oh my God, thanks to the protests, it looks like maybe there will actually be justice. It shouldn't be a substantive or sort of newsworthy sort of consideration. But it is. And they didn't want to chase a guy. And so they shot him in the back. It's madness. And then everything they did afterward, like, imagine if like, let's say that they actually thought that this had to happen. It wasn't just a matter of how dare you defy me or make me chase you. After you shoot the person, how do you not do everything you possibly can with the training that you've got to save the person's life? They're not a threat to you anymore. They're not going anywhere. You don't even have to jog after them. You just let it happen. A couple minutes go by. You're worried about paperwork or, oh man, I wonder if there were cameras that caught this insane thing I did, rather than saving a person's life while it could potentially still have been saved.
I don't know why it shouldn't be controversial to say that there needs to be a high standard when officers use deadly force. That's really what this discussion is about. It's not about minimizing the severity of drunk driving. It's not to paint an angelic picture of every person who's been caught up in these cases of police brutality. This is about whether or not we're comfortable living in a society where cops get to decide whether you live or die, right? They get to carry out whatever version of justice is in their minds, and they get to do so without, allowing you to have your day in court, right? We're supposed to have those protections. People are supposed to have those rights. And so as the retired LAPD sergeant shared with CNN, it was a video that we shared earlier this week when we covered this story, you're supposed to, the police department, when they come across a situation like this where someone flees, and by the way, they did check Rayshard Brooks to see if he had any lethal weapons on him. He did not. So they knew that he wasn't an imminent threat to their lives, right? Mm-hmm. As the retired LAPD sergeant said in that CNN interview, you're supposed to create a perimeter in that area in order to catch him safely, put him in custody, and make sure that justice is served in that regard, right? And they didn't do that. Shooting someone in the back, I mean, the very nature of that indicates that he was not an imminent threat to that cop. Yeah. And you don't get to decide. You don't get to be the judge, jury, and executioner. We're supposed to have, again, some level of, I don't know, just
empathy.
I know, but we're not allowed to have empathy. We're not allowed to do an honest analysis of what's going on in this country. And I just don't understand it. I don't think anyone would be comfortable knowing that their family member died because anyone opened fire without giving them the opportunity to defend themselves in court, right? Yeah. Anyway, so sorry for that whole spiel. It's just so frustrating that it's a difficult concept for so many people to grasp.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, and also really fast. One other quick consideration: you're in the parking lot of a Wendy's. Obviously, this is not off in some remote area in the woods or the desert. You're firing your gun totally needlessly. Not only did you kill someone, but you easily could have hit an innocent bystander nearby. When you fire your weapon, that bullet goes where it's going to go, and there are people around. You could have hit someone. There are people just filming in the area, and so that's incredibly dangerous. And also, I understand that we're in a particular type of bubble in that our job is to pay attention and try to be as tapped into the news and what's going on around the country as possible. And so we're going to be more cognizant of, what these big news stories are, what the moment is in the country. But imagine how many stories like this have come up just in the midst of all of the time since the protest started. That the nation is focused on excessive force and brutality. And that wasn't enough, let alone not to stop him from pulling his gun and shooting at this guy as he ran away. Basic humanity should. You should be trained to not do that. All of those considerations. The fact that people are filming, but even the fact that we're all focused like a laser on police brutality wasn't enough to stay his hand in this case, and in so many cases over the past few weeks.
By the way, we are learning more about what happened and what Devin Brosnan's, role in all of this was. So new reporting indicates that after the shooting, Rolfe said, quote, "I got him." We knew about that already. And then kicked him. We didn't know about that until recently. And Brosnan then stood on Brooks's shoulder. And Howard said, and that's the district attorney that I was referring to earlier, the officers did not provide medical aid to Brooks for more than 2 minutes after he was shot. Look, it's just about, questioning whether we're comfortable with this. We're supposed to, again, have a justice system that deems us innocent until proven guilty. And that means that no one on the streets, including cops, should have the ability to decide whether we live or die if we do not pose an imminent threat to their lives, period.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.